Yo, how's everyone doing? So today, just going to do a really quick video on how to install some outside lights on this building. So this building is a new extension that's gone up, hence the new extension. So we're going to have some quite standard, in principle, the up and down lights. That's what's going to go in. But these ones have got a little bit of a twist. So let's get sorted. Let's find out what kit we're going to need. So one of the most important bits of this job will be said light. So this light is actually a really, really cool bit of kit. So on the inside of here, you might see that you got these fan, I'm going to call them fan blades. So like that. So you actually alter the spray of the light. They are actually really, really cool lights. So that is an essential part of the kit. Now, also, you're going to need one of those, and some other little bits and bobs, some fixings, what we're going to use. So, fixings we're going to use. So we're going to be using these plugs that are actually from Fisher. We're going to be using those bad boys and some pan-headed screws. That is what we're going to be using. And to seal it all, a bit of cheeky silicone, okay? So, first things first, we'll get the light all stripped out and get the back plate. So the ground I'm standing on at the minute is gravel. So these have got tiny little grub screws in them, like that. And you don't want to lose them. So make sure you've got somewhere decent to put them. So somewhere decent for me is on top of one of the other boxes. Hold on. Safely stored away. So that takes off the front plate as such. That's gone. Also put that to one side. Now what that also does then, I've got some Allen keys that need to go in here, which will then release the back plate. Now whichever light you end up going for, they're all pretty much the same sort of deal. So get the Allen key and get that took off. So again, make sure you don't take these out too far, because if you drop on these stones, that's an hour of your life you're never going to get back. So that is the plate. So essentially you've got a rubber seal around it. Like I say, they're all pretty much the standard sort of principle. So you've got a rubber seal through there, and also you've got a cheap and nasty terminal connector block. You can use it. We're going to show you in a minute something different, the way I'm going to go about doing that. So again, pop this down to one side. Now, the hole, when it's been drilled out in the first fixed state, it hasn't been sealed yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get that through that seal, just there. Grommet's obviously going to come out. Usually on these, they'll have a top or bottom marking on them. So we're going to line that up. We'll get our cable just to hold it in place. No hands. Boat level, marksman. So you'll see. Okay. So what I've done on this, I've brought the cable so it touches the bottom of the brick there, because it moves the paint dots that I've put on from the marksman. It brings them a little bit lower from the actual brick itself, and then I'm going to fill that hole. I tell you what, I'll just do it. Why don't we just do it? Let's get on it. Come on, let's do it. Okay, so we need to get the grommet back in there. I mean, silicone, I feel, will still do a really good job. And in fairness, most of the time, like probably this one, I would just take the grommet off, because it would do my head in. Already happening. So, that being said, the grommet will be going in my pocket. So with the grommets, they are notoriously a bit of a pain, in fairness, to get in. They can be really fiddly at times, and when obviously you've, like the other light over the other side has got 2 cables to get in, it's generally a bit more hard work. So much stuff in my pockets, does my head in. Sparky's bin. Oh, sorry, my bad. What happened? So one of the things that you don't want to do, right, is be too cheeky. That's it. No. What you... I don't know what's happened to me today. One of the things you don't want to do, in fairness, is don't leave your cables too long, because there is that tendency to go, right, I'm going to leave it longer for future and all the rest of it, which is great, but if you do that, you're going to run out of room, because the boxes on these are never massive. So there is obviously reasons why it's better to trim back. So you know when I said about the connector block, and it's not really going to work for me, I'm going to show you why. So these bad boys is what we're going to use. They are Wagos or Wagos, if you want to be a bit jazzy about it. So I use these over the connector blocks because they're faster, for one. 2, when you're using the connector blocks, you're generally holding the light like this, and it ends up scratching and stuff like that. So a lot of this one's not so bad because obviously you've got the outer cover that's not on at the minute. But when you've got the other version, well, other versions, usually it's a painted finish on the outside. So if you're scratching about, and you have to touch that brickwork and it's scratched. So one of the top tips for that, hold on, is this. All of these lights come with a bag. So stick the bag back over it, leave your wires hanging out, then wire it in. So obviously if it touches the brickwork, it won't knacker it, and that's where a little tip for you, it will protect that. Obviously in this instance, we don't need that. See, so I've already touched that on that brickwork, okay? Obviously it doesn't matter so much here. I'm not sure there's an up or a down, and there isn't. So make sure the seal's on. So the next tricky bit is this one, only because of the downpipe. Okay, so it's nice and tight. So I'm going to leave the fan blades open at the minute. Remember those scrub screws? So make sure you put them somewhere safe. Now this is the bit where it all goes horribly wrong, and I drop it. Like that. Oh. Not even joking, that was close. Oh my God, I'm reverting back to this. Literally just getting that started. Right. Because of this downpipe, it is really awkward. Beautiful. Right, just nip that up. And there we have it. So with this actual light, it's cold. So the idea is that obviously what I'm going to do, tell you what, I'm going to put a photo up here, okay, of when we previously installed this, and you can see what the effect is. So you can fan these all the way out, and then what I quite like to do is if you narrow the bottom up, it just straight thin piece all the way down, and that's basically it. So the same principle for all of these outside garden lights, up and down lighters, decorative outside lights are all pretty much the same thing. So yeah, so they're not rocket science to do. The more fancy, this is probably more of your fancier light than what you'd normally do. But yeah, they're really, really good bit of kit, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It's a nice short video for you, and if you have, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Link is in that corner, I believe. Turn your notifications on for more videos of stuff like this. Thank you very much.